What's going on, everybody? Happy hump day, happy hump day, happy hump day. It's your boy Doc Holiday. We're back with another HBCU OverDrive live show. Haven't done it by now. Make sure that you like this stream. Make sure you comment, share, and most of all, subscribe to the channel. Become one of the members of the hottest HBCU podcast that's on YouTube right now. Man, and then whenever you can, hit that notification bell to get everything HBCU OverDrive. All right, man. So we on today again, and I think I done got enough of the Dion stuff out of the way. Um, I am pretty much going through as far as doing. Um, about to do some SWAC reviews. You know what I'm saying? Team reviews. But like I said, if you haven't done it by now, man, make sure you like the stream. Make sure you comment, share, and subscribe, and we'll get into it right now. But first of all, I want to send my condolences to um, Southern University. Even though that's our rival, I still want to get, it's still all love. I just want to send my condolences to Southern University. They had three band members um, from the Human Jukebox. They were killed in an automobile accident with an 18 wheeler. I don't know, think it was in Baton Rouge or in something like that. But two of those members um, are from Dallas, and they did go to uh, my high school. So I want to send my condolences to Southern University and the Human Jukebox, because all in all, we are should we all be on one accord, and that's promote HBCU love. But um, anyway, man, we just gonna get into it right now. I ain't gonna have it as far as a long show tonight, but I know a lot of people are watching other shows, and that's cool. That's cool. That's cool. It's Wednesday. I normally don't do anything on Wednesdays. I normally mostly be at work, but we gonna get into it. So, uh, look, man, the whole thing about this. Let me get my ticker going on right now. Let's get this going on. So, what's next? And I asked that question: what's next for schools, for football teams, at these schools in the SWAC. So, and if anybody wants to join in on the stream, y'all more likely to join in. I was in the invite for on the stream. Um, that way we can see people can actually see what the deal is. But we're just gonna get into it as far as right now. So, like I said, what's next? What's next for all the schools that these teams need? What is it that they're missing? What is it that they need to improve on? What is it that what you can expect in the following months, because, or a couple of weeks, because you got early signing day coming up next week, and then you have uh national signing day, the official national signing day in February. So you just want to see where these programs basically come about. But first of all, man, we're gonna get into it. So we're gonna start off with Arkansas Pine Bluff. And I'll start off with Pine Bluff because they actually finished the season with a win against Alabama State in the Turkey Day Classic. The thing that what they're missing, to me, what they're missing is, for one, they're missing a coach. because that's the first thing that they need to do to actually sustain their program. But the other thing that they're missing, and if you really want to be honest with, they're missing a proven quarterback. And what I mean by a proven quarterback, I mean that um, they are trying, you know, so I'm just trying to see what, as far as who they would get. Now they have a star in the running back Kayvon Britton. That he is a gem. So I would actually keep him. I mean, I would feature your offense around him. Now you are losing Skylar Perry, Mark Evans the second on the offensive line. And there's another guy I think it's on the defense as a safety. He just entered into the transfer portal. So the first take is who you're gonna get as a coach. I don't know how they're doing their coaching search, what are they doing for their coaching search, but I just know that they do need a coach before all this stuff take place, because you don't want to get into the situation where if you don't have a coach by now, you're going to be um, you're going to be behind the eight ball, way behind the eight ball, and that's something that you don't want to have. You don't want to do. You want to make sure that you are well equipped and that you're going to be able um, to maneuver within the transfer portal and with high school recruits and also with some JUCO recruits. Now, the thing about it too that I seen today is that they are playing replacing Jackson State in the Southern Heritage Classic. So they will be playing Tennessee State. So they will be continuing the Southern Heritage Classic for next year. So they have a 2-year run between them and Tennessee State. So that is a good fit. And they can tap into the Memphis recruiting area, and also they can still tap into the Southern Arkansas area. But that's a good thing as far as what UAPB is doing. Um, as you know, they did lose Coach Doc Gamble uh, early in the season, so he was fired after I think after going 2-5. Uh, so basically, man, we got UAPB got a lot of work to do. What's going on, Retro? What's going on? So UAPB got a lot of work to do. So that's something that you want to make sure that you continue doing, is going into the portal, going into the JUCO ranks, and also going into the high school ranks. More importantly, I would actually go into the high school ranks to develop the kids and get them out there, get them on the right track. But like I said, first you want to make sure you have that cute. You want to make sure you have that head coach in place, um, with his own with his own staff coming into play. So basically, that's something that UAPB needs to have. That's what they need to get. Hopefully, they'll get it done in time, and what I'm saying, that way they can reverse the fortunes of what the misfortunes of last season. Yeah, Drac. Look, hey, we gonna get it today because they my last one. Um, they my last one. Next on the list, man. Look, we gonna go keep going. Mississippi Valley. So, what up, AP? What's going on? So Mississippi Valley, man. This is what Mississippi Valley needs. They don't need a head coach. Um, they need resources. And I'm saying is they need resources because of the simple fact that they are doing most with the least. They need everything. Yes, Retro, like you said, they need everything. Um, and I'm gonna say it just like this: if Coach Dancy stays, those kids are going to get up to play for Coach Dancy. Why? Because Coach Dancy cares about those kids. He cares about those kids. He cares about everything that's going on at Mississippi Valley. And the funny thing is, he's a Jackson State alum, but he cares about everything that goes on in Mississippi Valley. What they are going to be missing is a running back, because Caleb Johnson did enter into the transfer portal. Jelani Eason did graduate this year. We don't know the status about Jamari Jones. Don't know what's going on with him. Also, we don't know. We don't know what this team is going to be like. But I'll let you know this: defense is going to be strong. Defense is going to be strong. So they always going to have a strong defense. I just waiting on for Mr. Ford to come in. Here we go. How you doing, Mr. Ford?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Hey, how's it going? I'm just getting in. Well, what was the topic tonight?
Oh, we just talking about what's next on the list for these schools, what they need, what they're gonna be missing. So I already started off with Pine Bluff, and I said that the first thing that they need is a head coach.
Yeah, with a staff.
With a staff.
With a staff.
So that's the first thing that they need. They need a head coach with a staff, and they need to build that team around Kayvon Britton.
Right. Now, my thing with Mississippi Valley is how much you're going to pay your head coach and how much money. Because, see, this thing done come out again about these assistant coaches' salaries. You can't get them crumbs and then think they're going to produce champions. We got to do better than this. You know, to me now, a position coach in that SWAC shouldn't be making no less than $100,000.
Right.
At least $100,000. You're going to be, then we talking about coordinators should be at least 140, 150. All of the head coaches should be at least 265 to 300,000. They got to stop this mess about this paying these position coaches pennies on the dollar and all that kind of stuff. Now, what I would say for Pine Bluff definitely needs to go head on and go after the guy at Benedict. To me, a lot of people need to go after him. I think Jackson needs to talk to him.
Chennisberry.
Chennisberry. They need to go after him because he's hot. I watched him this year. That guy, he knows what he's. He knows what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
But the main thing is they got to get this money up for these coaches. Because see what they're doing in the SWAC, which is ridiculous. You get these what I call non-quality, non-championship coaches.
Yeah.
When you want to holler and scream like they're doing down at Southern about you should have won 10 games, which is true. Southern should have won 10 games this year.
I do say that.
Southern should have won 10 games this year. But then look at the staff. You know, Dion them went and got people from the NFL at the top, and then you go get your homeboys from New Orleans. That don't make no sense. And like I was saying the other night, the biggest disappointment for me with Alabama State, with Southern and those schools is the coaching. The biggest disappointment is definitely Southern University because they had too many athletes, too many game changers, too many players with exceptional ability, and then you got some less than high school coaching going on.
Right.
So
you correct. You correct, Mr. Ford. So I mean, but like I said, Pine Bluff needs a coach.
Yeah.
Mississippi Valley needs the resources and the pay.
Yeah.
But they also need They also need a new running back because Caleb Johnson did hit the portal yesterday.
Right.
Don't know what the quarterback situation is. Don't know if Jamari Jones is going to be coming back to the school or if he's still going to be at the school. I do know that Jelani Eason's eligibility is up, so he has moved on and gone.
Okay.
What's going on, Miss Lamb? So we got a lot of it's a lot of things that Valley does that needs, but I would say this that they do have a strong defense.
Yeah. Now,
Um,
and when I saw Valley this year, the main thing I said to everybody is I want Valley to do two things. I want Valley to put more money into offensive coaching, and then I want Valley to look at running an offense similar to a Kennesaw State or Georgia Tech when under
mhm,
Paul Johnson. I want them to look at a triple option offense.
right. That sounds good. But I just know that they're gonna retool. And of course you also have the best thing that's on your team, which is that's your 12th man, which is your field.
Right.
So, when teams come to play at Rice Titan Stadium, they don't leave trying to they don't blow Valley up. They don't kind of fare well when they come to play Valley in Valley. Um, and the thing about when you get teams to come play in Valley, Valley the field makes you play mediocre, and
Yeah.
then the players know about the field being mediocre, and they feed off of it, and they take advantage of it, and it's kind of like what you saw when they played Alabama A&M when they was on ESPNU. So
Right.
you figure that out. Like, look, they can move the ball. They had the offense, and then you also seen the defense, and the defense was doing a tremendous job. The defense was basically keeping the team in the game, but the offense was inept because of simple play, not simple play calling, but I would say the simple play calling because of Kitten Evans. I don't understand what type of play calling that he was doing. And I know that I know he played QB when he was at Tennessee State at University of Memphis,
Right.
but I think you need to be more innovative and you need to get more athletes to come in that wants to buy in on that program and that believe that they're gonna believe in Coach Dancy, which that's gonna happen regardless. Those kids believe in Coach Dancy to the point where they would do anything for that man.
Right. Yeah, he's got him playing great. He does. Like I said, I want to see more money spent on offensive coaches. If it can be more position coaches, another coordinator, or it can just simply be 3 or 4 analysts. Because people don't understand analysts are very important. Because the analysts, if you got analysts, then you can make ongoing adjustments immediately. That's one of
Right.
the things that Coach Prime did at Jackson. He had all those analysts with their technology, and they would make it on-game adjustments.
Yeah, retro. They didn't get a new turf. They kind of let it grow out because Valley was on the road for majority of the season. But it's the fact that turf they had that grass high. They had the grass up at a length where it kind of stops a team's speed, the other team's speed. It limits them. So it's basically you're playing down to our level. That's what it
Right.
is at Valley. You're going to
Yeah.
play down to our level, and we're going to dominate because we're going to show you how we play at our level on our field. But it we'll see. Like I said, we got early signing day coming up next week. You got
Right.
National Signing Day coming up in February. I will
Right.
be covering on both of those, so we're going to see what's going to happen because I need to see what's going to happen with Jackson State. But next team on the list, we got Prairie View. We got
Ooh.
Prairie View on the list. So now this is Bubba McDowell's first season as a head coach. And
Right.
I'm gonna say this about Prairie View. They underachieved, but
Right.
for him to take over the program the way that he did, and kind of, they didn't miss a beat in a sense because you thought it was going to be some. Most people thought when Dooley went over to Southern, it was going to be some sort of drop off with Bubba being the head coach, and I felt like I'm like, nope, it's not going to be a drop off because he's been there for over a decade, and he knows what he's talking about. He's more defensive minded than he's offensive minded. So let's get that out the way.
I kind of thought that Bubba did a better job than Dooley. I'm gonna be honest with you. The biggest problem I got with Prairie View is the offensive coordination. Now, I know everybody was talking about that kid that was at quarterback and his limitations, and he's yeah. They said that Conley was better with his feet than with his arm. But my thing was, what Bubba has introduced over there, you can win a championship with that. Where you know, you ground and pound with the offense, but you play stout defense. You can win with that before you win with that stuff that Coach Dooley is doing. So I didn't have any problems with Coach McDowell. The only problem I have is I don't know if you can win a championship with that young man as the offensive coordinator. That's my problem.
I think the offensive coordinator, he stayed. He went to Southern with Dooley, but he came back.
Right.
I think what he did with this team this year, and especially with Conley being the quarterback and knowing what type of limitations that he has, I think he catered the offensive scheme around Conley's ability to, you know what I'm saying, to be an actual playmaker. So that's good coaching right there at the most, because it's basically what you see, like, okay, I'm not saying that he's not a strong thrower, not a strong passer, but we know that he can run. We know he can run. So what we gonna do? We just gonna turn it into an old triple option RPO type style offense.
But no, the only thing is at the end, it's like they just faded. Not just with that Mississippi Valley debacle, but I thought they really looked good against Grambling. Mm-hmm. Okay, and then at the like when it was time for them to really dominate the West, they just faded away.
Yeah, the West, and I'm gonna say this: the West, the SWAC West was wide open,
right?
Wide open, everybody.
Yes, it was.
It was wide open. It was meant for everybody to get it. And if Grambling had got their stuff together, Grambling could have got it this season too.
Yeah,
and that's the reason why I said that the West was out wide open. There was no reason, there was no way that Texas Southern should not have let that slip out of his hand. There was no way that Southern had to wait till the last game of the season for them to win the division, and there's no way that Prairie View was supposed to lose the last game of the season again to Mississippi Valley. And that is the knock on Prairie View, especially at the end of the season. When they always play Valley at the end of the season, they always lose. It's that last game of the season that they cannot get past. I know this coming season, coming up in 2023, they are going to drop Valley off the schedule. I think they pick up Jackson State on the schedule, and I think they pick up another Eastern Division school and put them on the schedule. So it's three. I know Jackson State should be on there. I know it might be Alabama State, and I think it might be Florida A&M. It might be those three schools that goes on the schedule for Prairie View.
Well, let me just say this about that SWAC West again, and it's real simple. There are a lot of outstanding athletes in the SWAC West, but what we don't have in the SWAC West are solid teams. I don't know if y'all see that, but like I said, with to me in the SWAC West, the most underachieving and the most undercoached team was the Southern University Jaguar. They were the most underachieving, most undercoached team with all of them athletes, loaded with athletes on defense. Mm-hmm. And then you look like a 5-5 or a 5-6 team. That's what you look like. So I'm going to say it again. The biggest problem in the SWAC West is that they have outstanding athletes, but they don't have good teams.
I agree with you on that, sir. And on the next one, we got Texas Southern. We're gonna stay in the West. We're gonna stay here in the West because we got Texas Southern. Now, if you've been living under a rock, you know Texas Southern has the most dynamic quarterback, not named Shedeur Sanders, that's in the conference.
Right.
In Andrew Body.
Right.
Now, the question about this is, and I haven't talked to his mother, I haven't talked to his people. People are wondering, is he going to hit the transfer portal?
You're right. That's a hot rumor right there. Because over there in Atlanta, everybody swear for some reason they saying he going to Southern, and I don't get that.
I wouldn't move. I wouldn't leave out of the portal.
Yeah.
Because my whole thing is, I wouldn't get in the portal. My whole thing is, you have McKinney's going to be there for another year.
Right.
All right.
And he deserves it. For what he did, he deserves another year.
He does deserve another year.
He deserves another year.
But my whole thing is, what he needs to do is he needs to he has to find a different play caller. He has to find a new offensive coordinator to showcase Andrew's skill.
Now, what's the offense coordinator's name?
Jason Marsh.
Right, because I was impressed with Marsh's Body's first year, but I've heard so many complaints about him this second year. Now, I don't know. The games that I did see on HBCU Go with Texas Southern, I really didn't have a problem. I thought the team improved. In the Alcorn game, I thought they improved. What's the name game? I attributed that the game at Huntsville when they played Alabama A&M should have blew that game out. I just thought the youth in them just gave up. They couldn't, like they say, land the plane. They couldn't bring it to an end. And that's one of the reasons I say that coach needs to. Now, I know he puts a lot of emphasis on high school kids.
He has to, and I feel like he has to put the emphasis on high school kids because of the fact that you in Houston.
That's right.
You got UH across the street.
That's right. Now, and everybody knows the city of Houston produces 500 Division I signees every year. But here's the thing I'm saying. Mm-hmm. You got enough high school kids right now. Come in, solidify your offensive line and your front seven on that defense. And I believe that they will be in the hunt. I believe they'll be in the hunt. Because I like the DBs I saw. The only thing I thought they could have been a little bit bigger and a little bit stronger, a little bit faster in that front seven.
Right.
But the defense did improve this year compared to last year. Now they did improve.
The pass defense and the pass defense improved. The run defense was terrible.
Right.
But it is at certain times in the games they played, their run they can't stop the run. It's the defensive scheme that they do run. I think they run that 3-3-5 defensive
that's
scheme.
What mm-hmm.
I would scrap that. Scrap it. You don't have the big booger right there that's playing a one technique.
That's right.
On the front three.
Right.
You need that extra body on that extra down lineman on to create some sort of pass rush. Now I would go to a 4-2-5 because then I would turn one of my safeties into a cover, you know what I'm saying, a cover linebacker because he got to make sure that he covers the middle of the field. So I'm the type like, look, I'd rather bring 5 or 6. It's kind of like what Dennis Thurman's doing with, he does with Jackson State. Where he he brings in blitzes and everybody plays man because the corners can play man. Their corners can play, they can play man, they can play zone.
Right.
One thing that they're gonna be missing on the offense is Drake Centers, the offensive lineman. He's gone. I think the center Jack Nance, I interviewed him earlier this year. I don't know if he still stayed or he might be going. But they did bring in. I know they did bring in a lot of offensive linemen. So the ones that they brought in this past season from the high school ranks and a little bit from the JUCO ranks, they are developed. So I think they'll be able to contribute on the offensive line. Now on the defense, you are basically about to lose almost. I ain't say almost everything, but a few key players. One of the defensive linemen, I know he's graduating. Zay Hamilton, the cornerback,
Right.
he is going into the draft. So, and I think Raheem Fuller, which is the safety, I don't know if he's going to the draft or he might be in the portal or he's thinking about going to the portal. But you're going to you need to get that defensive backfield settled before you come into 2023, and I'm gonna say it like this: they're gonna do it with the high school. They're gonna go back to the high school ranks. But if I'm Coach McKinney, I'm going into that portal. I'm looking to see who is coming from U of A. You got Rice, that's a couple of blocks from you. You got Houston Baptist, that's over in, on the southwest side of Sharpstown. You got not too far, probably like 40 minutes up the road. You got Sam Houston. You text me about Texas A&M, and it's kind of like what somebody said. I think what Ryan Walker told me saying in the chat, like Texas Southern and Prairie View is recruiting down there the same kid here in the state.
Right. Okay. Now let me ask you something. Do they need a new defensive coordinator? What's going on with the defense coordination?
I haven't heard anything about the defensive coordinator, but more likely
from what you've seen, do you think do they need a new?
He just needs to change the scheme up.
I'm
changing the scheme. That's all I'm doing. That's all I need. That's all I need you to do is change the scheme up, because this team could easily have been easily a 7-4 team or 8-3 team, because the schedule that they put out this year, they played 2 FBS teams. They played University of North Texas. They came up to Denton. They started out slow. North Texas jumped on them from the get-go. And then you seen them they picked it up late in the game, but the score was, I think it was 52-27 or something like that.
Right, I think I remember that. Yeah.
And then, of course, when they had to come back up to Dallas, they played Southern. They shut them out, and then they went on the road to UTSA. Played a memorable first half. I'm talking about memorable first half. Defense was clicking on all cylinders in the first half. Offense was doing the same thing. Then in the second half, I won't say the bottom fell out, but you can see it. You can tell by the depth that the UTSA had on their team, and it kind of got to them. And then they started doing silly mistakes. They turned the ball over 2 times within the first 7 minutes of the third quarter. That's something that you can't really do right there. You got to be able to hold on to the ball and basically be able to. You got to take care of the ball.
Well, Doc, let me ask you this question: Do you think it's better for them to stay at that Dynamo field, or do they need to play on campus? Which is better for them?
Now the only time they play on campus is homecoming.
Right, but I'm saying, do you think they need to come back to campus?
I would say they need to go back to campus.
That's what I'm thinking too.
Only time I would use the Dynamo field is if you're playing a team that's going to bring in a crowd. So
I said last summer, I said that Jackson State should have been taking the NRG. I said that last summer. I thought they should have been taken. You coming in, Shedeur Sanders up for the Heisman, Travis Hunter, #1 player coming out of high school ranks. You the defending SWAC champion. I thought I said last summer that game should have been in NRG.
Oh well, no. Yeah, it could have been an NRG because I was thinking about the Pineywood showdown with Sam Houston and Stephen F. Austin. That was played the beginning of October. So no, you're right. They could have been an NRG.
That could have been an
That would have brought
NRG.
at least about 45,000 people up in there.
That's what I thought. Because see, when I was at Graham, when I was a student at Graham, we played Texas Southern in the Astrodome. Not only
Right.
did we play them, Tennessee State used to come to the Astrodome and play Texas Southern.
I believe. But I know you played the Dynamo. You played on the Dynamo field, so like I know Prairie View is going to come to Houston next season. So they'll be in Houston. So I know there'll be a sold out crowd for that game right there. It all depends on who's coming into town. Other than
now,
that,
in your estimation, who's ahead of who? Is the Prairie View program ahead of the Texas Southern program, or is Texas Southern ahead of Prairie View? In your estimation?
In my estimation, I think Prairie View is ahead by a foot. Not by a lot, but by a foot.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think that Prairie View is a sleeping giant. I really do. I think they're sleeping giants.
I think both schools can be sleeping giants in the West. But it's just the thing that I hate the fact that Prairie View and TSU play each other in the first game of the season for the Labor Day Classic. I wish it did like the middle of the season. But I know it's as far as tradition goes because they've been doing it for the longest.
I'm just saying, if you look at there are 12 teams in the SWAC. Mm-hmm. If you ask me, Prairie View should be in the top 4, but they're not.
Yeah.
They should be in the top 4.
It should be Jackson State, FAMU, Prairie View, Southern, and then Prairie View.
Yeah, they should be. So they kind of like what I say about Southern. I mean about Southern. They underachieving. Prairie View's underachieving.
Yeah. Let's see what we got next. Who we got next? We're gonna move on to the next one right here.
Okay. Oh, my school.
Alma mater.
Yes, my school.
Your alma mater.
yes, my alma mater.
So, I say this: Hugh Jackson did have some rough. It was going to be a little bit promising in the beginning of the season. He had some rough patches, including taking the G off the helmet and letting.
I didn't understand that either. I didn't get it.
Yeah. But I kind of understand it. He want to see if you can earn it. Not saying about winning, but it's just about your play. You don't even have to worry about winning, but it just, do you have pride and love for the team and for your school?
I thought it was a distraction. I'm gonna be honest with you. I thought it was a distraction. I really did.
I kind of seen where he went. So let's go. Let's get to the nitty gritty.
Okay.
QB play was atrocious early in the season with the
Yes, and don't forget QB coaching was awful.
QB coaching is terrible too.
Terrible.
Now, when they gave a chance for Julian Calvez to get in the game, he's gonna make freshman mistakes, but he kept you in the game.
Oh, he was a spark. I saw it in the Prairie View game. I thought he was a spark.
Hugh Jackson right now, I would say he's a positive until this coming season. Now, if they start losing again, and you got my guy right here, Mr. Ford, on the phone right here. If they got to do the same season, they had the same season like they did this season, they might it might be like the Sandman from Apollo coming Yankee off the stage.
Listen, I thought that the offense coordination deserved a grade of D, maybe a D minus. I didn't really have problems.
I didn't agree with John Simon.
Yeah, I didn't have no problems with Coach Thornton and that defense. They were put in terrible positions. Now, I did see as a team in the Texas Southern game, the entire team quit. Now they did do that in the second half. They quit.
Yeah.
They quit.
So
But
here's my thing about Grambling and about Hugh Jackson. I'm like this. If I was Hugh Jackson, I would do the same thing Dion would have did when he came to Jackson State that first year. In the spring, when we did the spring season, I would have gutted the whole team. You got an evaluation. This season was your to me, this season was your evaluation season.
That's right. It was.
And I'm going through every player when doing the exit your exit interviews and be like, look, do you love the school? Do you love playing football here? If you just here just to get, this, that, and the third, I don't want you on my team. You can hit the portal.
Right.
That's the type of move, and he should have been like, look, I'm replacing you as we speak. I'm just saying this.
I just thought at the beginning of the season, when I saw Hawkins, I said, you can't tell me that Hawkins was the best quarterback on Grambling's campus. That's like I told him. When I saw that kid at Southern, I told him the same thing. I said, you can't tell me that this McCray or Bashan, whatever his name, is the best quarterback on Southern's campus. You can't tell me that. And I thought that it was mishandled with the Chance Artman kid, the kid from Texas who originally signed with Syracuse. That kid really wasn't given an opportunity, he wasn't given a shot.
Yep. I feel like he might be in the portal too. If he might go.
I don't blame him because they didn't do him right. Like I said, with Grambling's, if between Coach Simons and Coach Jackson and their coordination of the offense, I give them a grade of D or maybe possibly a D minus.
Now I will say this: the offensive line can block. They can run block.
And got a good coach. Got a good coach.
Right, they can run
block. The guy
block.
from Southern Lab, I like him.
They just need to work on the pass blocking a little bit, but they can run block.
They can run block, and they got a stout run. Now, I didn't understand the whole thing with that kid from Nebraska. That boy, listen, to me, one of the best plays of this year was when he made that 75-yard run on Jackson State's defense.
Yep.
That was an Eric Dickerson type run.
Oh, yeah.
And I said, now, somebody tell me, why is it that he gets hurt all the time? Why is it when he plays, he don't get the ball? See, that's another reason why I said D minus. Because then right behind him was two freshmen, and both of them kids could play.
Yeah.
Chalk, was it Conky?
Floyd Chalk, and then Chance Williams.
Them kids could play.
Yeah. See, you said something right there that Maurice Washington, he runs just like Eric Dickerson.
Eric Dickerson.
But Eric Dickerson ain't like either. Eric Dickerson was putting on 215, 220.
Right.
He was running.
That's right.
With size on. So I feel like because Mo is playing at the weight of 195 pounds, 190 pounds. I think he's probably 185, 180.
I think he is too.
He's 6'1", probably 180, but they got him listed as 190. He needs to put on that weight because he's more of a track. He's more of a sprinter. He needs to put on some weight. He needs to be about, at least for his size, he needs to be about at least 205 to 210.
Right. And that's all season. That's now. That's when you should be working him now. That's all season work.
And that would eliminate those knick-knack injuries.
Right. That's right. Excellent. That's right. You're right, Doc. All the way. But let me tell you something. When I see him, you know what I see? A pro. I see a pro.
Oh, yeah.
I see a pro.
Yeah, and then you see him when he went out the game. Okay, so like example, he went out the game against Southern in the Bayou Classic.
Right.
And then you don't let up a beat when you got Chalk coming in.
That's right. That's right.
The same thing.
And
he only like 5'8", 195 pounds.
And then one of them gained 150 yards, and they didn't give him the ball no more in the second half.
No ball no more. Yes. So
see, that's why I said D minus. That's why I said D minus.
So you gotta. So for the next season, you gotta get your balls to the playmaker. You gotta prove quarterback in Cal is just work on his mechanics. Just work on make sure he can read his progressions because he can't throw the ball. Also, he needs, you need to protect him as far as your offensive line, so they better, get better in the pass block. I know they Romello Hayes, I think he went into the transfer portal. So
what was his number? What was Romello's number?
51 or something like that. I know he's an offensive line.
I remember 51. He was good.
So just got to replace him, and pretty much, I mean, like, just learn, get better on the pass blocking, learn how to use your playmakers, develop your receivers, and basically develop your quarterback. Because your defense is already good.
Yeah, defense fine. I had no problem. Listen, now one thing I want John Simons to go back to being a receiver coach. I need them to bring in an offense coordinator and give him the offense. Let Coach Jackson just be the head coach and do head coaching thing. I don't want him involved with the play calling. I want a new offensive coordinator. Okay, let him do the play calling, and the main thing is I need him to develop the quarterback. I need him as offensive coordinator, play caller, and quarterback coach. Same thing I want at Alabama State. And all of you who are listening, if you are Alabama State grad, don't let Coach Robinson bring that guy back. Please don't let him bring Harry Williams back. He can go to wide receiver coach, but he cannot go back as offense coordinator. He can't. Please don't allow him to do that.
Let's see who we got next on the list.
Okay.
Yep.
Yep. Another underachiever.
Mr. Ford, I'm not putting.
Hey.
All right. Hey, all right. We got Alabama State, y'all. They ended the season 6-5. The last game they lost to UAPB. They let Kayvon Breeden run for almost 180 yards, and he had all the scores for them in their game.
Listen, they should have ended the season with at least 9 wins, possibly 10. They should have beat FAMU. They should have beat UAPB.
Yep.
And it ain't nowhere in the world they should have let I think it was Prairie View beat them.
Right.
With all that, but let me tell you something. They played the whole season without an offense.
That is, yes, they did.
Without an offense coordinator.
I would give you that. They were terrible on the offense.
Yes, they were. But it was from the coordination. It was from the coaching. I keep saying this now. I know nobody don't want to listen to me.
No,
last year, after when Deion won the SWAC, I told everybody the biggest problem in the SWAC is this inept, unprofessional, incompetent officiating. This year, it's the fact that we don't have enough quality coaches, championship coaches. We need better position coaches and better coordination. Bama State needs an offensive coordinator. They need an offensive coordinator.
Yep. So, and I seen when it started when they played Howard in the beginning of the season.
Yeah, that guy was just throwing stuff against the wall.
You saw, I mean, just me looking at Demetrius Davis, comparing him from when he was in high school to when now in the college ranks, he has regressed. He's playing. People saying he's 5'11", but I figure he's like 5'9", y'all. He's 5'9" on a good day. He can't see over his offensive line. Now, like I'm gonna say it just like this. You gonna be right too. The offensive coordinator misused the running backs. All 3 of them.
He's awful.
Every last one of them. Ja'Cory Merritt misused him.
Yes.
Santo really misused him. What's the guy named? How?
The boy from North Alabama, Howell. Last name was Howell.
Rarely used him. Like, those 3 should have had at least about 700 yards of running, rushing yards.
The Merritt kid is a big time kid. That Merritt kid from Montgomery.
Yeah.
Oh, that boy's a big time kid. That guy's explosive. He can run between the tackles, but he definitely can run outside the tackles.
Right.
He called himself saying that he was had a 3-headed monster. He didn't know how to use him.
He didn't know how to use it.
He didn't know how to use it. Because see,
yeah.
that Dunn kid really could have been put in the slot. That Dunn kid.
He's more your all-purpose back right
there. Yes, he was.
He reminds me of a poor man's Tony Pollard.
Yeah.
And when I say poor man's Tony Pollard, because Santo is nothing but like 5'7".
Right. Yeah. He missed it. Now, the thing about what you were saying about the quarterback, see, they didn't roll him out. You didn't sprint him out. You didn't move the pocket. It's so many things they didn't do with him, which leads me to believe that the guy didn't know what to do.
Right.
I thought he was in over his head. Now, the worst game for that offense coordinator at Alabama State is without a doubt the Florida A&M game.
Oh yeah,
he called for 34. He called for 34 rushing plays. He gained 24 yards. They averaged 0.4 yards a carry. I thought he should have been fired after the game. It was ridiculous.
Now I'm gonna say this: you're gonna be looking for another quarterback because Miles Crowley is in a transfer portal also.
I don't blame him. Do you blame him?
I don't blame him.
That guy Roberts with Harry Williams. I don't blame him.
I don't even know who the offensive coordinator was last year.
It was the guy, Harry Williams. Harry's a Tuskegee graduate. He came to them from Morehouse, and the people at Morehouse said that one of the reasons Freeman was fired is because he had Harry Williams as his offensive coordinator for 2 years. He's just terrible. He's in over his head, and I don't understand why, as intelligent as Coach Robinson is, he can't see that. I've been checking the papers every day to see if he's gone out and gotten an offense coordinator. I ain't seen him make a move yet.
He got to see, man. As always, defense is going to be, they maintain a good defense.
I don't have no problem with their defense. I don't have no problem with Alabama State's defense.
Defense is top 5 in the SWAC. I'm
just letting y'all know. Yes, it is.
But the thing is, you got to get you a capable quarterback because if Demetrius Davis go back to like what he was doing this past season, being injured and being inconsistent, it's going to be a long season for Eddie Robinson.
Listen, I thought that Harry Williams got that kid hurt. Now, I've said over and over, you got a blitz coming at you like Jackson State. You got that big-time linebacker coming up the middle. And when he hit that kid, I knew he had hurt him. But my thing is, you didn't attempt to put a tight end in the game to stall some of that pass. That's incompetence on your offensive coordinator. My thing is to the Alabama State Nation, to the Hornet Nation, you got to let Coach Robinson know you can't bring him back. Now, he made Alex Jackson the assistant or associate head coach. Okay. That was fine and good. You should have made him the offensive coordinator if you ain't going to go get nobody. Make it. He knows what to do. Make Alex the offensive coordinator.
Hey. But I'm going to say it just like this. Alabama State will be going to Jackson this coming season. Don't know if it's going to be for a homecoming or anything like that, but I know they're playing them in Jackson. I don't say they have a lot of turnover, but there's a lot of improvement that they need to have done before the season starts. They do need to go into the transfer portal, see what they can do as far as getting a quarterback. What's the name of that? Jeremiah Hickson.
Oh, he's a good boy.
The receiver. Yeah. You need somebody that to be on the other side with him.
Now that Keyshawn Johnson ain't bad. Now that boy from Birmingham, that kid is quality. Now to me, Keyshawn showed this year he has some NFL potential.
Okay.
Yeah,
I've seen it when they played Jackson.
That guy's got some NFL. But see, once again, we can't see a whole lot about him because of the horrific play calling. Mm-hmm. Okay, the coordination of that offense is just terrible. He doesn't know how to feature his players. That guy is in over his head.
So I got a question. Somebody got a question in the chat for you.
Okay.
It's from Eddie Jones. He said, what's your opinion? He asked you, what's your opinion of Hugh Jackson wanting to bring in Art Browse as offensive coordinator or consultant? But Doug Williams was like, no.
Listen, bump Doug Williams, baby. Bring Art Browse.
Doug Williams right or wrong?
Listen, bring it. Listen, I told him before. That was a major mistake on our behalf to let them tell that man that he couldn't come to Graham. Bring in Art Browse next year. We done learn from our mistakes because I'm telling you, I don't want Hugh Hamlin. Hugh is too impatient to be the play caller. He's too impatient. Okay, bring in Art because Art will get the quarterback situation solidified. But the main thing is he's a play caller. So I'm just hoping
Right.
this year, please bring in Art Browse. And don't let Hugh offer him. Let the president call him. Let
Right.
Attorney Gallows need to call him and tell him, please come back. Give him a 2 to 3 year contract. Give him a 2 to 3 year contract.
I feel you on that. Next on
Yeah.
the list, we keeping this thing rolling. Got the Bulldogs, Alabama A&M. So, Connell Maynard, try to figure out what he gonna do. Now this season, what was different from last season? Quarterback situation.
There you go. That's number one.
Quarterback situation. You don't have a kill glass no more.
And that's what they're missing. That's what they're missing.
So you ran a 2 quarterback system. You had Xavier Langford to start off the season. Then you got Quincy Casey.
Quincy was a disaster this year. Quincy was a disaster. He wasn't ready. That kid right there, that kid you just called out, what you could say his name was? Xavier what? At the end of the season, he proved he should have been starting all year. But see, this is what, and I know, listen, and I'm not going to sit up here like I can tell Cardinal Maynard anything. I know Maynard. Maynard knows his stuff. Okay, but Maynard has got to go and get a quarterback that fits his system. He runs a controlled tempo passing offense. He's got to go and get somebody like a Quill. I don't know how. I know that's going to be hard, but that's what he's got to do. That's what he's got to do. Now, the other thing is he has a boy, to me, in that backfield that has pro potential. That kid that they got from Michigan State,
that
boy has pro potential. He has pro potential.
Now, the thing about Alabama A&M, and this is what I said from probably like the 3rd or 4th game on, you're hurting your QBs. Either one you put in the game, Langford or Casey, you hurt their chances. You hurt the momentum of the offense when you make switches of your quarterbacks in the middle of the game.
Yeah.
You don't have no continuity with your offense when you switch out your quarterbacks because Quincy's gonna sling that rock. He's gonna sling the ball. It's been proven he has done it. He's gonna sling the ball. Xavier Langford is more of he's a RPO type quarterback.
Right, that's him.
He's an athlete.
Right.
I'm not saying that he doesn't have an arm, but he's an athlete. So when he's in the game, you have to switch everything around when he's in the game because you have to account for the fact that he's not going to throw the ball a lot, but he's going to run the ball a lot. And you got when watch the game against Mississippi Valley, and you've seen it when they had Quincy Casey in the game. The offense was basically catered around him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The block, blocking, pass blocking, the receiver routes, everything was centered around Quincy Casey. He didn't do bad. He didn't do good either, but he didn't, you know what I'm saying? He didn't do bad.
He definitely didn't do good because I saw a bunch of games where he makes bad decisions because in that offense that Cornell runs, you got to make the right decision at quarterback. Right. And he made a lot of bad decisions.
And then, for example, they played Jackson State. Quincy made, I think it was a second down play. Quincy goes back to pass, didn't read the progression, missed the receiver, almost had the ball picked off. Guess what Connell do? Yank him out the game.
Yeah.
He yanked him out the game. Like that crushes a kid's confidence.
Right.
That crushes a kid's confidence. And the other thing I did not like that people have been saying about this is the fact that they went into the transfer portal. They got almost 35, 36 kids out of the transfer portal. There was no cohesion with this team.
And don't
You know what
forget
I'm
now, a
saying?
lot of them kids were rotten apples because it's a lot of them. He need to put them. He brought them in from the transfer portal. From what I watched during the season, he got to put a lot of them kids off. He got to send them on their way. They were rotten apples.
So
They were
then,
rotten apples.
and then what you think about it is too, like, not also is killing the confidence of your QBs.
Yeah,
You got some receivers, you got some playmakers that went into the portal. Like you lost OJ Hilaire, he's at Bowling Green.
right,
He balled out this season, but he into the transfer portal. Now you about to lose Ibrahim
right.
to the transfer portal. Juice Jenkins is in the transfer portal.
He won't
So
be
you got
missed. He won't be
so
missed.
that won't be missed, but it's him being in that slot, playing in the slot. But you got in the last 6-7 months, you had 3 of your best receivers. All of them came from. They all played. They all won their spring SWAC championship. They was on the team when they went 8-3 last
Right.
season,
Mhm.
and this season they're all in the transfer portal.
Yeah. See what happened after he won that spring championship? He didn't upgrade that team.
No,
Everybody else upgraded, but he didn't upgrade, and it has cost. Now, like I said, they went in and got like 50-some players from the transfer portal. But the problem was, as I watched them overseas, a number of those players were rotten apples. They were problem children, and basically what he did, he went in and got other people's problems, and that's why I say a lot of them kids he got to get rid of. He got to get rid of. I watched them. He got to get rid of them kids. They brought in a lot of rotten apples.
So my whole thing is right now, you got to go back into you got to go back to basics, go back to your high school ranks, get some of your key players out of the transfer portal. Do not just use the transfer portal to just build your whole team around. Because if it's going to backfire on you.
Well, that has kind of been his MO for back in his days at Winston-Salem. He built Winston-Salem overnight with transfers. This before the coming of the transfer portal. He has always believed in going and getting kids who didn't make it at the UTs, the Virginia Techs, the North Carolinas. That's always been Maynard's MO. He's always done that.
Okay.
To be honest with you, I can see him going to get some more. But like I said, that bunch that he brought in last year, a lot of them kids were rotten apples.
Yeah, you know what's going to happen? You're going to have the same issues that you had this season for next season.
You got to do. Hey, the main thing now, if you're gonna do the transfer portal, you got to do character check, and you got to get kids who are better than what you have. They can't come in competing. They got to play immediately when they get there.
Yep. Another thing that they kind of missed out, they said about Jaron Williams when that's the one that transferred in from the University of Miami.
Right.
He abruptly
said he had mental problems.
Retired because he wanted to deal with he had mental issues, and I'm not gonna lie nobody because we all go through it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
We all go through it, and I commended that brother for doing what he did. So it's just now you got to go back in there and find a QB.
Yeah. Can he come back? Is he ready to come back?
I don't think he's gonna come back.
But he's not gonna come back. Okay.
But my whole thing is establish your QB at the beginning of the season. Are you gonna go with Langford or are you gonna go with Quincy? And it needs to be a quarterback. A quarterback battle in the off season in the spring, because you got to know who your boy is who you got gonna be when you go into the trenches.
Now let me just say this at the end of the season to me, because Langford is the one who was the MVP in that Texas Southern game. When Texas Southern was beating them, and then they put that Langford kid in there, he picked him up. He picked him up with the throwing that he did, and he picked him up with his legs. So for me, Langford would be the starting quarterback. That's what I would develop in the spring. I would look at Langford because he showed me something that last part of the season.
Yeah, I feel you. All right, so next on the list we got Bethune-Cookman.
Oh, I'm saying, yeah.
I say this about I'm gonna say this about Bethune-Cookman. They done had they done had the worst part because of the fact they was on the road for the majority of the year.
Right.
They only played, I think they only played a total of like 2-3 home games.
Right.
Part of it because
the hurricane, right?
Hurricane come through. The other one they played at Jacksonville, which was
I thought was a good move. I'm glad they did to Jacksonville.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was a good move.
So we talked about this last week. First thing first, got to get you a head coach.
Yeah. I do have to commend Bethune-Cookman because like I told everybody during the season, you can keep Sims and stay on the ground, or you can get rid of him and start over. Because I thought of all of those people on that staff, he was the biggest problem. When he took that program from Jenkins left, went to Alabama State. I thought that he was left with a gold mine, and every year they got worse and worse. And to be honest with you, I thought he should have been released last year.
And that's something that people was talking about too, that he should have been gone last season.
Yeah, he should have been gone last year. That's what I thought.
Oh, hold on now. Somebody told me that Dancy going to Colorado.
Oh, okay. Okay. So he's going with Dion?
Yeah, that's his boy.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That's his boy, but I'm gonna make sure that it's true.
Right, okay.
I want to make sure that it's true that he is going up there. But yeah, man, that's a surprise right there. I wonder what
I'm surprised too.
I wonder what what position he's gonna be coaching then.
Well, I don't know, but that's a great opportunity.
Oh yeah. I won't. I can't even knock it. I can't even knock it. Let me see. I'm just kind of seeing.
Right.
They haven't said anything right now, but if it is true that he's going up there, I mean, that's more money for him.
Oh yeah.
A better place for his family.
Yeah, it's that's a new opportunity.
There's one thing. They say he out.
So I mean, it's official.
Yeah, they say he's out. He's gonna be a defensive analyst.
Okay, yeah, defensive analyst.
Like we said, we're not gonna bash Prime, but I will say this about Prime: he look out for his people.
Oh yeah,
he look out for his people. The people he cool with, he gonna look out for them. So I can't. There's one thing I'm not gonna knock that man for. He's big on loyalty.
Yeah. And Dancy can come back and take one of them programs in the SWAC or the MEAC if he will, or continue to be a position coach in the D1, whatever he'd like to do. I mean, this is a great opportunity for Coach Nancy.
Yeah.
This is a great opportunity.
Yeah, let's get back to Bethune-Cookman.
Yeah.
My thing about this is, Reggie Thiers, I know you the head basketball coach, but whenever you got time, especially when you don't have any holiday tournaments and stuff like that, you got to put your AD hat on because you need a coach. You need a coach to solidify your recruits before National Signing Day.
He needs to go up to Columbia. He needs to make his pitch at Chennisberry. I'm going to tell you another guy I saw this year. That guy's ready. The guy that's at Fort Valley State, his name is Gibbs. He was under Rod Broadway. That guy's ready. He got a staff too.
And if I'm not mistaken, I go up the highway to Jacksonville to Edward Waters. Toriano Morgan.
Who's got that program?
Toriano Morgan. I interviewed him earlier this season too.
Okay. What's
So
his background? Where did he go to school?
he went to Tennessee State. He was a receiver. He was on the same team with Ken Evans.
Oh, okay. So he played for Bill Davis.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So and then you got your regular names, Ed Reed, Ray Lewis. But my whole thing is, are you gonna get them, and is it are they gonna be there for the school, or they gonna be for the kids, or are they there doing it for themselves? That's the question we're asking about in post prime, y'all. So
I can't see Ed Reed leaving Coral Gables to come to Daytona. I can't see it. I might be wrong, but I can't see Ed leaving what he's got going on in with the University of Miami, give that up and come to Daytona to do Bethune-Cookman. I don't believe Ed's going to do that.
Yeah.
And then it's just like you said, Ray will come for a year or two, and then he's out.
And the thing about it is, you think that y'all talking about Jackson State and so, we having financial disparities. Bethune-Cookman / down there have a athletic budget.
You're right. So that's going to be an issue too. Because that guy up at the guy that's up at Benedict College now, Chennisberry, the president and the athletic director, whatever he wants, they trying to get it. I got some friends in Atlanta that's telling me what's going on up there at Benedict. Oh, it's a nice situation.
And look at Chennisberry at Benedict. Like, you play in you got a nice stadium that you play.
Yes, got a nice stadium. Yeah, and they're in the capital city. You're in Columbia.
You're across the street from Allen. You're not too far from University of South Carolina.
Right.
You know the area. Like,
yes.
Like, you get him another recruiting year.
Right.
And you think that because they went 11-1 this season,
they
might go a little bit farther if he get a new recruit. He get a recruiting season, another recruiting year under his belt.
I saw him crush Fort Albany State on television, and Albany State had a good team. They crushed him. I mean, they were so physical up front offensively. He had one boy was about 6'6", 6'7", had good size, and they were well trained. His offensive line was well trained. But this guy here, probably in the Division II black colleges, he's the hottest thing out. To me, he looks kind of reminds you of a Pete Richardson. You know how Pete was when he was at Winston-Salem, and then he comes down to Southern and goes legendary. This guy here has that kind of potential.
Yeah. Yeah. So
if I was Pine Bluff, I would go after this guy.
My thing about Bethune, you got a quarterback, is basically you got to protect them, and you got to still develop Jalen Jones, Clashawn Bird. I think he's a senior this year. You got a lot of turnover that's going to be on defense. So you'll have to do the same thing as far as mostly everybody, hit the transfer portal and kind of go the high school route. I would go the JUCO route. The biggest thing you're gonna miss though is Kamari Everett. That's the biggest person you're gonna miss, because he was your offense.
I've been down. That's they call that Central Florida. Listen, it's so many athletes down there. It don't make no sense. The biggest need at Bethune-Cookman right now is that they need to get a head coach who can bring in a staff and can harvest that Florida area. Because let me just tell you something. When all them schools down in Florida get their boys, it's so many kids left over. You got to remember, Florida has over 20 million residents. There are athletes in Florida for everybody.
Yep.
So the main thing is you got to get that new head man. You got to get him. And then, just like I told people about Jackson State needs to name a new head coach before that Celebration Bowl. The same thing with Bethune-Cookman.
They might. Mm-hmm.
They need to name him. They need to know, huh?
Oh no! They need to know something. They need to get a coach by
next week,
before the end of the year. Yeah, next week.
Yeah, next week. They need to name somebody by next week.
So we got the Rattlers from Tallahassee.
Oh yeah.
on the list.
It's
Look,
everything is looking good on them highs of 7 years because that's who everybody's saying with Coach Prime leaving, they're going to take over the SWAC. That's going to be interesting. That's going to be now
man,
personally with me. You know, I got major problems with that president. I got major problems with the president. I don't think he's an
we
asset.
all have problems with the president.
Yeah, I got major problems with him. Now,
Jay,
I love
Jay
that Willis. Willis Simmons is top notch. He can go on any level. The big question mark is this Tiffany Dawn Sykes. She's the new athletic director. To me, she's a big question mark. I got to see what she's going to bring to the table.
Yeah, that's the only thing. But I hope she does good. I hope she does more than 2 years. I hope she does more than a year because
Right.
if you had 18 ADs within the last 20 some years, that ain't a good look on your, you know what I'm saying? That's a high turnover rate right there. The main question is, I'm gonna say the main question is how do you keep Willie in Tallahassee? How do you keep Willie in Tallahassee? Because if Dion gonna go after him and make him probably like an offensive analyst or something like that.
Well, I think he has already made an offer to him, but now Coach Simmons is vested in that Tallahassee community. You know, he's bought a 300-acre farm down there. He has like 5 people on his mother's side who graduated from Florida A&M. Now, even though he, you know, his resume says he's a graduate of Clemson and a graduate of the Citadel, he's FAMU through and through. Okay, he grew up on FAMU. He's from, I want to say he's from Quincy, Florida. If he's not from Quincy, he's from Havana, Florida. But I think he's from Quincy, Florida. FAMU's been in his blood all his life.
Right.
Okay. And so the main thing is that they have got to give more. They got to up the budget. Now, I think you FAMU people, please put in the chat. I think your budget is what, $11 or $12 million on athletics? Is that it, or is that too high?
They got a better budget than most schools in the SWAC.
Yeah. I think they right in there with Prairie View. Now, Prairie View is ahead of them. Nobody spends as much money as Prairie View, but and Alabama State and Alabama A&M also. But they've got to up that athletic budget especially the money they spending on football. When I looked at what's coming back, somebody was showing me they losing the guy they call X-Man. He was wearing number 19.
Yeah, number 19.
They need some of them freshman wide receivers got to step up. They recruited some wide receivers last year. Them kids got to step up. They got to step up. They got to be ready to play. Okay, you got Musa coming back.
Yep.
Now, somebody's told me I think the tight ends are coming back, right? Or are they out?
I think Oxidine is coming back. The tight ends are coming back.
The one I like is the one from Colorado State. What's that kid's name? The big kid from Colorado, about 6'5", 6'6", was from Atlanta. They got him from Colorado State. He really came on the last half of the season.
Yeah, that's Oxidine. Oh, Manigo.
Yeah. Manigo. Now, is Manigo what? Okay.
Manigo's gonna be back. Shareed is gone. Is gone, and X-Man is gone. You got.
Wait a minute, Shareed. I thought Shareed was coming back.
I think wait a minute. I take that back. He is coming back. Shareed is coming back.
Shareed is coming back. Okay, Manigold is gone.
No, Manigold should be back.
Yeah, I disagree with them on the usage of him. I thought he was a wing tight, but they tried to play him out on the numbers. My thing with him was he didn't have the speed to be out wide. Now he's got good hands, but I thought he should have been a wing tight.
Now they're gonna have to revamp that offensive line because a lot of those offensive linemen were seniors. So most of them.
Yeah, I know Coven is out. Is out. I know Goss is back. He's the one that made our SWAC. What solidified that offensive line was they took the little kid 66 who to me should have been redshirted, and they put in that Lee kid at center. That's a kid I think from Bainbridge or somewhere, but that kid helped solidify that offensive line. He was a center. I think he was wearing 69. Last name was Lee.
So offensive line to me has to be improved because they got to be able to run block.
That and they got to keep. See, one thing about Musa, if you run him off the spot, he can elude the rush, but he's not a danger throwing the ball. He can't throw the ball. He's not a dual threat.
No,
he's definitely a pocket passer.
Yeah.
And if you can run him off the spot, then you basically have won the battle.
Right. So, and then you got to find you got to find some capable running backs that's better than running for 3 or 4 yards, 3.5 yards a game.
Yeah, the kid now, I think he got hurt, but that kid from Pittsburgh, I thought it was a lot left on the table with him. Now Jennings is out, right? Is Jennings over now?
Yeah, Terrell Jennings is gone. I think not Ray.
The kid number 25.
McLeod, he should be coming back.
Okay, that'll help him.
And the thing about the running backs for FAMU, both of them were bruisers.
Yeah, so that's what they had.
You didn't have no change of pace.
No speed. Yeah.
Like last season when you had Bishop Bonnet come in again, he was starting the game.
Right.
He was your change of pace. He was your 1-2, and then when you brought in either McLeod or you brought in Terrell Jennings, they was your change of pace because they could get you 3 or 4 yards in short yardage situations. But now you're seeing it to the fact where both of them are equally the same because they're both like 6'1", 235 pounds, both of them. So, and my whole thing is if you got two backs that's like that, ain't no way in the world they should have like 350 yards for the whole season. There's no way in the world. They you're a power back. You got to hit that one. As soon as you see that crease, you got to hit it.
Yeah,
you have to hit it.
Yeah.
Defensive wise, Isaiah Land, I think he's gone.
Yeah, he's already declared for the draft.
Isaiah Major, I think he's staying.
Yeah, he has one more year.
He
He came from a junior college.
The Bowler brothers, I think both of them.
One's back. The one number 11 is out.
Yeah. Okay.
But now let me tell you, the younger one, he really came on at the end of the season. He was jumping routes. He was really good at that deep because I thought that the corners initially might have been a problem with the exception of BJ. I'm still not bought with them safeties. To be they didn't replace Bell, didn't replace Collier. Okay.
Another thing I do not like about FAMU's defense is the fact that they do not blitz. They try to trust too much on the front four, and they drop everybody in coverage. They need to learn. They need to bring in some sort of blitz, some stunts, something. You got to do something because if you're just playing a basic 4-down lineman and all they doing is just playing pit-pat with the offensive line, and everybody's back in coverage,
right?
Like, I'm exploiting everything that you're doing. It's exploitation. So
and listen, the guy that's the defense coordinator now, he knows better because he worked under Nick Saban. He knows how to bring pressure. He knows how to bring pressure now because he did a stint with Nick Saban at the University of Alabama. He knows how to bring pressure.
So yeah, I see them going. And I see them. They're getting a lot of offers from recruits. So it's all about are these recruits like these 3 stars or 4 stars going to actually pick Florida A&M? That's the main thing.
I just want him to get faster, more athletic on his defensive line. I want more guys 6'4", 6'5", about 250, 260, 270 that can run. That's what I want now. I like General Hunt and that kid that came on in that Orange Blossom class, not the Orange Blossom, I'm sorry. He came on in the Florida class. The last name was Dunn. Dunn really came on. But I want more taller, leaner athletes that can run up front. I hope they can go back and get that Cuts kid too.
Now, I'm going to say it just like this. I don't want no FAMU fans to get upset at me. Even though you went 9-2, you started off 0-2, ran off 9 straight. Do not beg to try to get into the playoffs, and you didn't have a dominant season after those losses. And what I mean by that is just like the old BCS, like your style of play, like you literally have to dominate and destroy teams like by 30, 40, 50 points. I'm just putting into perspective. You have to dominate like that in order for you want to go to the playoffs. Do you get that at large bid in the playoffs? You have to dominate. You have to show those the selection committee that you are dominant after a loss to Jackson State.
No, they weren't dominant because, to be honest with you,
that game into the middle of the season instead of the beginning.
Yeah, I do too. But now, to be honest with you, with an offense, I thought Alabama State could have beat them. I'll be honest with you. I thought Alabama, that game was, FAMU had a better coaching staff than Alabama State had. Now, when it came to the players on the field, to be honest with you, I thought that Alabama State was a bigger team, and I thought they were a stronger team. They just didn't have the coaching FAMU had. FAMU had better coaching.
Yep.
No, they weren't dumb. Now, let me say this. The last year's team that went out and played Southeastern Louisiana, the only thing they were missing was a quarterback. They had that Rashawn McKay kid. They didn't have a quarterback. But this team this year was not as strong as the team the year before.
So now we head to them big bad Braves down there on the reservation with Alcorn.
Oh yeah.
Coach McNair,
right.
Went 5-6 this season.
Yeah.
They were still in contention with the West. Like I said, the West was so easy to get. Problem was, I put it like this. The problems was that special teams was terrible. They didn't have a punter because from what I heard from Blue, the punter was academically ineligible this past season. Didn't know what type of quarterback they was going to get in with Aaron Allen.
Right.
Even though he can throw the ball, I give it to him. He throw the ball. We didn't know what type of season that he didn't know what type of quarterback he was going to be. Also, most people thought it was going to be a drop off on the defense because, Cedric Thornton leaving out of Alcorn and going to Grambling. You thought it was going to be a drop off.
It wasn't. That boy, Cedric Thomas is good. I think his name is Cedric Thomas. That guy's good.
Malachi Bailey and Claudine Charles.
Yeah.
Dogs.
Right.
Dogs. I think they were the only ones other than Alabama State's defensive line to give Shador fits.
Yeah. Yeah. And those linebackers gave him fits too.
Linebacker gave him fits.
Really, that's not their problem. Alcorn's problem is not on defense. Alcorn, ever since Ryan Stachek left there, they have not had an offensive coordinator. They haven't had a play caller. And the worst thing about them is that they have digressed as far as offensive line play. Stachek is the one that left and went with Jay Hobson. Then he turned up down there in Tallahassee with Willie Simmons. Now I believe he's at Austin P. But that's been Alcorn's problem, is that they have not replaced Ryan Stachek. Ryan was a master offensive line coach. He was pretty good with his play calling. He was real patient. But that has hindered Alcorn since he left. But the other thing is, too, Alcorn's president don't give a damn. That lady don't give a damn.
I'm about to say that.
That lady don't give a damn.
I'm about to say. They do have continuity with the head coach, Coach Craig.
Oh, he's a good man. He's a good man.
He's been at the helm since what, 2015?
Yeah, when what's the name left and went to Southern Miss, when Jay Hobson left.
So he been taking over the program, and it felt
he's been to the Celebration Bowl twice, isn't he?
Right, he went to the Celebration Bowl twice.
Twice, yeah.
Didn't miss a beat with the team.
Yeah. He was the toast of the town before Dion got to Jackson.
Yeah.
They had the premier football program before Dion got to Jackson.
The only other team to host the SWAC championship game in the state of Mississippi other than Jackson State was Alcorn.
Alcorn, they've hosted it twice, right?
No, they hosted it twice when they since they've been going back to
Yeah,
they
they
went to
beat Southern both times, I think.
the home field advantage.
Yeah.
Now the biggest thing is Jarvion Howard is coming back. He do have 1 year left.
Oh, he's a monster. He's a monster, and he's a pro. He's going pro.
Yeah. Nico Duffy, don't know if he got an extra year, but I don't know if he's coming back or not. And then Javante Leatherwood, I think he should be back also. So you got a you have a 3-headed back rotation. You know.
Well, let me just say this: that kid overshadowed everybody.
Yeah.
That Howard kid, listen, man, that guy took over the SWAC as far as running back. Now, listen, I'm with Wilkerson and all that, but that's a man down there, Lorman. That's a man. That's a big time guy, man. That guy's going pro.
I was saying, my boy Pizza said Nico is coming back. So that's 1-2 punch right there.
Yeah, man. But I like Nico, but let me tell you something. The number one man is that Howard kid. That Howard kid is something else, man.
They said somebody said also, I think that's Peasy, he must be an Alcorn fan, but I know they got to re-up on the defense. Offense should be okay. I think Aaron Allen supposed to be coming back? I think he should be coming back too, because I think he probably have 1 more year left. Because I think most of these kids coming back, they got their COVID year.
Right.
So basically I mean, to me, like Alcorn is always gonna be that team where it looks boring, but they know how to win.
Yeah. I just want them to get that offense coordinator they need. That's been a lingering spot for them, a sore spot for them for at least 2 or 3 years now. And the offensive line play has definitely gone down.
They said Aaron Allen and Trey Lawrence are going to be back.
Oh yeah, both of them can play. Both of them can play, but he does need to make a move. I'm not saying because I think Elliot Rodden or whatever. Somebody asked, "What's the
Elliot Rodden?"
Yeah. I'll take the play calling from him. Now, if he wants to stay with the offensive line, he can't. But they need to get a offensive coordinator, quarterback coach in there. He needs to make that move. He needs to make that move.
So we got next on the list.
Oh.
The Southern Jaguars. The boys from the Bluff.
Yeah, man. With all them players.
They went 7-5. They won
That's ridiculous.
They won the SWAC West. And they
potential as far as talent is concerned, Southern is a 10-win team. That team was supposed to win 10 games this year. But the coaching is just terrible. To me, initially, I was just irate with the defensive coaching. But then I got irate with this kid produces almost 400 yards in the SWAC championship game, and he's been on the bench all season long. I just said, somebody got to answer for that. Jonathan Williams got to answer for or Dooley. Somebody's got to answer for that.
Hold on. So somebody said if McCray playing QB at the spring game, they need to fire Dooley.
Yes, sir, because he needs to go to wide receiver. Listen, he needs a position change immediately. McCray needs to go to wide receiver. He needs to go to wide receiver. Not wide receiver, go to DB. But the last thing is for him to be the quarterback. That's the last thing.
I'm going to say they won it, but they won the SWAC West, but they backdoored themselves in the SWAC championship.
Listen, I keep saying it. The fact that Southern was the SWAC West champion with that less than high school coaching, that means that the SWAC West was tremendously weak.
Yep.
It was weak. And it's once again, I keep telling y'all, Dion was going and getting Mike Zimmer and Dennis Thurman. He goes and gets his homeboys. He go and get his homeboys from New Orleans. You can't win like that. That nepotism like that stuff is out the door now. Yeah, you coach with Pete Richardson, but you ain't like Pete Richardson now.
Nah.
You ain't like Pete Richardson.
Pete would have smothered this whole team.
Oh
Pete
man,
Pete would have dug in if it was who's that Quincy, like who's one quarterback I remember? Was it Rashard? Quincy
yeah, he had so many. Yeah,
he would have dug in you would have made one simple mistake, like miss a progression or miss the tight end or something, and you get on the sideline. Pete Richardson was in your throat.
There you go, baby. That was Pete. Because one thing he didn't tolerate was mistakes. No, they didn't play that.
Now I will say this about Southern, as far as the defense goes, defensive line, they're gonna need some people on the defensive line. I don't know if Cam Peterson should be back. Trey Lang, I know he's gonna be back.
Right.
Great House, all those linemen are gonna be back. Jordan Lewis is going into the draft. The defensive backfield, Corion Harris, he's a baller. The kid that came in from Bowie State.
Yes, he's a baller.
He was a baller too.
Yeah, he's a baller.
I said, Sweet Loop said Peterson is leaving. They got to find him a quick kicker because Luke Jackson went into the portal. So,
listen, Southern could have played 20 to 25 players on defense this year.
Yeah,
like I told you, in the Bayou Classic for about 6 minutes in the second half, I think it was at the end of the third quarter, beginning of the fourth quarter. That defense played lockdown football. But the reason they couldn't do it from the first quarter to the fourth quarter is because of the coaching they got.
Yeah,
that's their problem. They got coaching problems. See, Southern has a team filled with a lot of outstanding athletes, but they're not a good team. And the reason they're not a good team is because of the coaching. But they got athletes all over offensively and defense. They got athletes everywhere. They got them in the front, in the linebacking core, the DBs, the wide receivers, the running back. See, two of their main running backs didn't even make it. That Gerard Sims kid got hurt in October. Kobe Dillon didn't play this year.
In the Jackson State game, the first time. Carl Ligon, he was decent, and Kobe Dillon, I don't even know where he was at.
He was hurt.
So yeah, you didn't have all your weapons on as far as running back, and then two, they underutilized their wide receivers. Like Petrie
could play, Dyson could play, but see, here's the thing with Coach Prime leaving the SWAC. The SWAC right now is supposed to be a dogfight between Florida A&M and Southern, but it's not going to be a dogfight because Dooley and them is going to be mediocre. I know them. They're going to be mediocre. Now, Simmons, he's going to try to take over the SWAC now. I'm going to tell you right now. He's going to try to take over the SWAC. But Dooley, Dooley is going to have the players that fight for the SWAC, but the coaching is going to be mediocre. And it's in some cases going to be less than mediocre.
I say go into the portal. If you do not name Bubba McDaniel as your starter for next season,
listen,
he's going into the transfer portal.
I'm going to tell you right now.
Somebody that actually needs a quarterback is going to pick him up.
Listen, Bubba ain't going nowhere. Because I'm going to tell you something right now. Them people that run Southern program that you don't know nothing about, they done already told Roman Banks, we ain't going for that foolishness next year. Because, see, that was foolishness. That was foolishness. You got a kid. All he can do is take off and run with the football, and you had a quarterback. And then you got this. You take him out in the SWAC championship game, and this kid basically puts the team on his back. And while he's in the game, he outscores Jackson State. Man, let me tell you something. They ain't down there on that bluff. Them people down there that run that program, they ain't going for that no more. Bubba ain't going nowhere.
People said now, people that was some SU fans in the chat said Bubba done. They said he done. He a senior. He done.
I thought he had one more year.
I don't know if he have a COVID year, but
he should have a COVID year.
I think he should. Yeah, I'm saying I think he should have a COVID year.
He should have a COVID year. You know what? We need to check on that because I think Bubba got enough here.
I'm gonna do some research on that. But
Yeah. But that was ridiculous. I mean, the year before they mishandled Ladarius Skelton.
oh yeah.
Okay, the kid that should have been the second person coming in after Ladarius Skelton, John Lamplin, he's with Kenneth Berry over there at Benedict. That kid was from Cale. He in Cobb County in the Atlanta area. See, you could play Ladarius, but it was a point in the game. You had to take Ladarius out and put your thrower in.
Yeah.
Okay. With Ladarius, you had to play two quarterbacks. They mishandled that situation so bad. They had Ladarius on the bench.
Yeah, I remember that too.
It was ridiculous. And then we come this year, and you got Bubba on the bench. And I mean, he played his heart out down there in Jackson.
Last but not least, my alma mater, Jackson State.
Right.
We in the Celebration Bowl, but I know we got some holes to fill in, y'all.
Well, the most important thing now is y'all got to name a coach. Y'all got to name a coach.
That's it.
Y'all got to name a coach. And it's got to be named really next week. He's got to be named next week. They got to know who the coach is when they come to the Celebration Bowl. The longer they wait, the more problems they asking for. They got to name a coach next week.
So we got to get a coach, y'all. Like I said yesterday, I know Ashley Robinson got a list of names.
Oh, he does.
And that he's going to interview, but we can't. I want my boy TC to be the coach, but he got to go through the same process that everybody else is going through.
Yeah, he does. Because I'm like you. I wanted TC to take it, but let me tell you something. From what I'm hearing, y'all want somebody with a gold jacket. Y'all want another Hall of Famer. That's the word I'm getting. They want a big time name recognized icon type coach.
Yeah, I feel like we should be able to get it. But,
you will. I listen. I've watched Ashley for many years. He'll do the right thing. Ashley will do the right. My thing is, it's got to be urgent. We can't wait on no search committee. It's got to be named by next week. When they come here,
I would say by the end of this week, though.
Yeah, they need to make a call. You got to go ahead and name him, because if you don't, you're gonna lose a lot of players.
So the main thing we need is a head coach, and then after that, we got to get a quarterback. We have to have a quarterback to replace Shedeur.
Yeah.
We all know Shedeur is going to Colorado.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it.
We haven't heard too much anywhere about Travis Hunter making the decision if he's going to go to Colorado, but I don't think he's going to say anything till after the Celebration Bowl.
Right.
The other 8 players that Coach Pines suggests that he's bringing, they're not going to say anything till after the Celebration Bowl. We already had 3 players into the transfer portal, but those 3 players was not a significant part for the season this season. Michael Plays, I just feel like he could have did something better. More likely, he probably will be either going. He got an offer from Southern. He might get an offer from FAMU.
Yeah, I'm thinking he's going to FAM.
He'll go to get the offer from FAMU because he's from Tallahassee.
Right, he's from Tallahassee. Yeah.
Big Country Josh Griffiths. From what I heard, his people already said that he was going into the portal. Some people said that they didn't like how they used him here. But my whole thing is, if you don't really have too much tape, you're gonna be sitting in there. And Katron and you got Katron Evans that's in the portal also. 4-star came this out of Baltimore.
Right.
The thing about him, he played last season, but he didn't get no playing time this season because that defensive line was so deep.
Yes, it was. It was fun. Now, here's the thing about Katron and them. Katron and them will get offer because they are interior linemen. All colleges and universities are looking for interior linemen. So Big Country will get an offer. I don't know if it'll be FBS, FCS, maybe Division II, but he'll get an offer. he'll get an offer just because of the fact he's an interior lineman.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then we had one offensive lineman, Jordan Hall, decommit from us to go to Colorado.
Okay.
My whole thing is he was going over there for Prime anyway. He was coming here for Prime, so we had another one, Dequarius White from Holmes County Central.
Right.
People say he decommitted, but then he put out there on Twitter that he ain't going nowhere. He going to Jackson State. It's close to his house. Ain't up about 40 miles from the house.
Right.
So we got players, and then don't get it twisted, y'all. Y'all don't get it twisted. You think TC and Coach O ain't doing their job in Jackson to try to make sure that we have commits to get to be offered. They are doing their job. It's not like you know what I'm saying, like the Robert Lockhart kid from Langston Hughes. When he decommitted last week, this past weekend, I'm like, I already knew that he's only going to come here because of Prime. My thing is, you want kids to come to be a part of your team that is going to enjoy the school and enjoy the experience and going to be a productive person on the productive player on the football team. And I understand some people are loyal to a coach by fault, but you know what I'm saying, we have to kind of get these kids to understand, like, we don't, we can't, your loyalty is not into the coach. Your loyalty should be to the program.
Right.
And then the program's loyalty should be to these players. You know what I'm saying? The program has to be able to tell everybody, like, look, we got this. We got this. Don't worry about it. We got this. If you feel like you came out of here, you came here and it was a mistake that you came here, by all means, just go ahead and jump in the transfer portal. That's it. But yeah, we are trying to plug these holes. We are trying to stop the floodgates from really opening up. And by the time we need to get, we need to get a head coach first.
Right. That's the main thing. Yes, that's right.
So,
to be honest with you, with the heights where Jackson State is, he's got to have name recognition. He's got to be somebody that's known national, because that's what Jackson State's program is.
Cause it's like it's like my granny used to tell me back in the day, when you get you a hot girl, you can't go back down. You can't date down. You got to date up. You got to go back and date up.
Right.
So you got to keep that momentum going. So
that's right.
I ain't said, Deion's a celebrity coach because he put himself in that spotlight as an athlete to be a celebrity.
Right.
We need somebody that's kind of like in a celebrity, but not too much of a celebrity, but it's also in the realm of an ex-NFL player that was a great NFL player, and that could actually translate and communicate and be able to listen to these kids right here.
Yeah, but the main thing too is he's got to be somebody, when he walks into that house, they already know him. They know him before he introduces himself.
Yeah.
He got to be like that. Now they got to, when he walks in that house, they mama got to come and say, "Oh yeah, I remember you."
And that's why I feel like TC won't. Like I said, I love my boy TC, man, but I feel like he won't be able to do that because he doesn't have that type of cachet. Now in Jackson, in Mississippi, yes, he has that cachet. He can go down. He can go down to Macomb in Pike County or Lincoln County or Copiah or wherever county he at, and he can go get some kids in the state of Mississippi. But we talking about you leave out the state, go to like Louisiana, to Texas, to Alabama, to Florida, to get some more kids.
Right.
You don't have that type of recognition like that.
Right. And that's what they want. Because you know that AD Ashley Robson is thinking outside the box.
Oh, yeah.
He's thinking outside the box. He's not looking for retreads.
No. No. And people, you gotta realize Jackson State, we've been having, I won't say retreads, but we've been having inconsistent and unproven coaches.
Oh yeah,
since 2013.
Harold Jackson, Tony Hughes, John Hendricks.
Yep.
You name it. The Bale guy. Yeah, they done had some bad
after Judge. After they let go Coach Hughes. Like, we are not in the business of getting mediocre coaches.
Right.
And the only reason after we had got Coach Hughes, because the team did kind of get mediocre, I think the team at that time was kind of stagnant. After Coach Bell and his horrendous coaching,
right?
We went and got Coach Comedy from Tuskegee.
Yeah.
And the only thing he did was come in and win football games, win championships. That's it. Right. And then the school run them off, and guess what? We right back into the doldrums. What you saw with a James Bell that started with a Harold Jackson, and then you had the Tony Hughes, and then you had the John Hendricks. Which I would have said the John Hendricks hiring, it wasn't bad. Some of those kids didn't play for him.
Well, John didn't have a staff. John didn't have a staff. He didn't have a staff.
So, and what I'm saying by that is go look at shout out to my guy Alex Hines. Now he got a whole plethora of HBCU football games and basketball games on YouTube.
Okay.
Go back to the time where that John Hendricks was the head coach of Jackson State in his first full season. Not his interim season, his first full season. And look at what he did. And look how the players played for him. There was no enthusiasm. There was no motivation to play for this man. But what he did was he tried to stop the bleeding from what we had with Tony Hughes.
Right. Okay. He was a good defense coordinator.
That's all he did. That's all he was trying to do.
He was a good defensive coordinator.
So go got him dated. Yeah, he's a good D coordinator. And go back and just go on the page on YouTube and hit him, and you will know what year how the coaches was in what year.
Yeah,
and how the team was. Like, you go look at it. They was uninspired. But man, we've been on here for 2 hours talking about the review.
All right.
Other than that, I'm going to be ready to I'm about to get everything ready for the Celebration Bowl to break all that stuff down. So we're gonna my only out day gonna be next Tuesday. So we're gonna do a film breakdown and everything else. We're gonna have everything else set up for the Celebration Bowl.
All right. Okay, well, Doc, I'm gonna get on this bed, man.
All right, thank you, Mr. Ford.
Okay, have a good one here.
You too. So everybody, man, that was the film. All right. That was the film breakdown, everybody, man. I mean, not film breakdown, but the season of review for the SWAC. But like I said, we're gonna get started, kickstarting on we're gonna get kickstarted on the Celebration Bowl starting on. I'm gonna try to do it on Monday evening. And then we go Tuesday afternoon to do a film breakdown of North Carolina Central. And then Wednesday, I'm probably going to take that day off, and then Thursday we just gonna start it back. We gonna go back to what we was before all this stuff happened was going on. I feel you, man. I feel you, Sonic Boom. I feel you, man. I'm about I'm about to shut it down. We've been on for 2 hours, y'all. So like I said, we're gonna get ready for the Celebration Bowl. So y'all get ready for that. But in the meantime, as always, this is HBCU OverDrive Live with Doc Holliday, where HBCUs matter. If you haven't done about now, make sure that you like the stream. It is free to like the stream. Make sure you hit that share button, share it to all your friends, comment, and most of all, subscribe. Become a member of the hottest HBCU podcast that's on YouTube right now. And also, if you haven't done it by now, hit that notification bell to get everything HBCU OverDrive, y'all. We are trying to get it to, we are almost at 800 followers, y'all. Make sure we try to get the 800 followers. We actually trying to get to 1,000 followers, but we need to get 800 right now, and then we're gonna work on the next 100, and then we're gonna be in the dough, y'all. My whole plan is by New Year's, I want to be at 1,000 subscribers, y'all. That's my New Year's resolution. Try to be at 1,000 subscribers, so we get this thing going, get paid, get better equipment, get more stuff. You know, the whole 9 yards. But like I said, man, I thank y'all for rocking with me. Thank y'all for tuning in. I know today we weren't talking about Prime being at Colorado or anything like that, so I know the turnout was low, but it's cool. But like I said, we're gonna start talking about this Celebration Bowl. Hopefully it'll jump back up. But in the meantime, between time, y'all be blessed, y'all stay safe, and y'all stay dangerous. Peace.